Alpine, the single most Frenchiest French team ever, everyone's favorite laughingstock, and Ferrari's closest rivals as to being the biggest clown team on the grid. But how did it get this way? How is the team responsible for giving Alonso his only 2 titles in F1 such a mess now? Okay, let's start off by talking about the team's history. The Anstone-based team started off in 1981 as Toleman, definitely one of the F1 teams of all time, but they gave this random driver his F1 debut. Then, after a whole 4 years later, it became Benetton. I don't know, just some clothing brand which decided to become an F1 team. They were actually good though. Oh yeah, they were. They won 2 Drivers' Championships and 1 Constructors' Championship, and even had notable drivers such as Jenson Button, Nelson Piquet, Jean Alesi, Jos Verstappen, and, a certain Michael Schumacher. Anyway, Renault made a return to F1 in 2002 after buying out the declining Benetton, bringing in a certain Fernando Alonso as a reserve driver after his impressive rookie year with Aston Martin. While Jarno Trulli and Jenson Button were the main drivers, and because Jenson outscored Trulli, he kept his seat at Renault and ended up leading the team to their first world title. He was replaced by Alonso for 2003. Really? Yes he was. Stop spreading misinformation. Yes, Jenson Button was controversially replaced by Alonso for 2003. It took him 13 races to get his and the team's first win in F1 at Hungary 2003. And he finished the season comfortably ahead of Trulli. In 2004, no one really had a chance, but Trulli actually won one of the 3 races that weren't won by a Ferrari, after a very normal race at Monaco where absolutely no one retired. What a truly magnificent drive! Okay, fair. Anyway, his relationship deteriorated with the team and he left with 3 races to go in the season. 2005 and 2006 came and went where the team managed to casually win the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship. Yes, they did do that. 2007 wasn't really memorable. It was overshadowed by Spygate and the amazing championship battle between Raikkonen, Hamilton and Alonso, who had left the team, and in his place came Heikki Kovalainen, the 8th fastest driver in history. No, it's actually real. Look, Alonso came back to the team in 2008, and it was a completely normal season without any controversies for the team. Not at all. Nothing about crashing on purpose to let Alonso win or anything like that. The less we talk about 2009, the better. They finished 8th out of 10 teams in the standings, and they left the sport in 2010 to be replaced by Lotus, who, did you know, once offered Kimi Raikkonen 50,000 euros for every point. Lotus were actually decent, until they weren't, and Renault came back to F1 in 2016, and they came back with very big ambitions, with a 5-year plan in place, with their targets being to fight for podiums in 2018 and to be title contenders by 2020. They got 3 podiums in 5 years. The plan failed completely miserably. The team rebranded to Alpine in 2021, and they even got a win at Hungary that year. Were things finally going the right way for Renault Alpine? Well, they seem to think so, introducing the infamous 100 race plan, where CEO Laurent Rossi said that their objective is to reach a level of competitiveness that places us on the podium as many times as possible in 2024. Well, it's 2024 now, and as of recording this, Alpine are looking like the slowest team on the grid, with a car that's aerodynamically inefficient, and even with the lack of paint, it's unbelievably overweight. But honestly, the issues were around from the beginning. After Cyril Abiteboul left in 2020, the team had a weird 3-man system running the team, with Laurent Rossi as CEO, Marcin Budkowski as executive director, and Davide Brivio as racing director. This system was quickly abandoned as a year later, Rossi was the only one to keep his position at the team, with Budkowski leaving the team completely and Brivio becoming the director of Alpine's Young Driver program. He, however, left the team in December 2023. They finally brought in an actual team principal, with Otmar Szafnauer joining in from Aston Martin in 2022. He also left a year and a half later because the team expected immediate results from him instead of actually listening to him and his planned trajectory for the team. Another person to leave in the same weekend as Szafnauer was sporting director Alain Permain. In came Bruno Fama and Julien Roos to replace them, and yes, they still have their jobs for now. Their driver situation isn't much better either, with Alonso announcing that he was leaving the team to join Aston Martin for 2023, so the team decided to promote academy driver Oscar Piastri to replace him. Problem is, they announced it without even having talked to him, leading to the funniest tweet ever by Oscar. And after a long legal battle, Oscar ended up joining McLaren for 2023, leaving Alpine to search for a replacement driver, which they found in Pierre Gasly. A good driver, but one with a long history with Ocon, with the two not really liking each other. So, what do we have now? Constant personnel switches, drivers with underlying beef with each other, and oh, the engine! We didn't even talk about the engine! The absolute unreliable mess they have in the back of their cars. The bulbous thing that was so far back and so weak compared to the Honda, Ferrari and Mercedes power units that they wanted the engines to be equalized to reduce their struggles. Anyway, no constant leadership, constant issues and clashes within the team leads to demotivated engineers, which leads to a bad car, which leads to more personnel leaving. As we saw, technical director Matt Harmon and head of aerodynamics Dirk de Beer also leaving the team after the 2024 Bahrain Grand Prix, where they finished 17th and 18th. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix doesn't seem to be better, as they also qualified 17th and 18th there. So to answer the question in the title, there are many factors that led to the team's current state, and they seem to be getting a serious reality check with a horrible start to 2024. Hopefully they can learn with that and move upwards in the field, because in this current state, I'm not sure of how much longer they can stay in F1.